It's just audio.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cigar Store Idiots. We're glad to have everybody here with us tonight. Andrew?
Yes, sir. Glad to be back.
What's going on, buddy?
Man, get back from the beach.
Tyler is on hiatus tonight. Tyler's not with us, so you went to the beach, you lucky bastard. I got back from the mountains myself, so
St. George Island. It was nice.
We had a good time in the mountains. Other than it took 2 hours and 30 minutes to drive from Pigeon Forge to Gatlinburg.
Ooh.
I've never really wanted to kill anybody as much as I did on that trip.
I saw some of your pictures. It was pretty interesting. The museum you went to.
It was good. We went to the Alcatraz Museum. I love that kind of stuff. Two of my favorite things is I'm probably going to make people think bad things about me, but I like mobsters and serial killers. And they had a great exhibit there. So
I did see the clown outfit
that was a little crazy. And Ted Bundy's Volkswagen was a little wild. I can't believe that was there.
It's insane.
It was. There's all kinds of stuff there. It's too much. I took so many pictures and I posted way too many. So shout out to everybody listening. We're over 200 listeners. We're in 2 months of this thing, over 200 listeners. Georgia, of course, is our biggest state, followed by Florida, Virginia, Oregon. Believe it or not, Oregon's our number 4 biggest state listening around.
Nice.
We got 28 out of the big 50 listening in. So, and of course, the 12 other countries around the world. It's pretty awesome. Good stuff. Upcoming episodes we got Charlie Culberson from the Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
We talked to his dad on one of our episodes. Charlie's actually going to come in and give us a little bit on what it's like playing Major League Baseball these days. We're also working, we're going to work with Tony Metcalf and Robbie Ramey. I don't know if you guys remember the old Bullet Fight promotions that these guys used to put on. That was MMA back in the day in the South when it was growing, amateur and pro. And our guest today can probably tell us a little bit about that as well when we get him introduced in. And also another one we're working on, excuse me, is the infamous Peggy's of Rome. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's not familiar with Peggy's of Rome, she was pretty much Heidi Fleiss before Heidi Fleiss was Heidi Fleiss.
And was very accepted.
Ran a prostitution ring brothel for 40 years. Very successful. Owns property in the Virgin Islands, all over the United States. Yep. It's a good story to be told.
People all over the United States know Peggy's.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. She put Rome, Georgia on the map, no doubt.
That's right.
And then the Braves. What the fuck happened?
I don't know.
When Mookie Betts caught that ball, went to sleep. I was done.
But you know what? We took the best team in baseball to 7 games.
Hey, we did. We did. Without pitching.
Without pitching, and a very, very, very young team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how young this team is.
The future's bright if we can keep everybody happy and healthy.
Yeah, man. Sure. I mean, we played a best team in baseball extremely well. And, you know, we were only a couple of hits away from going to World Series.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we was a home run away from it, honestly, I feel like.
And some poor base running and stuff like that. But just a few mistakes and a couple of hits away, and we were in the World Series.
Yeah, I'm a homer for life, man. Braves, Falcons,
That's right.
Hawks, all that good stuff. So without further ado, we've got a gentleman that is very patiently waiting on the line to come in. I want to introduce everybody to coming off his bare knuckle fight championship 12, his bloodbath victory over Tom, and I may not be saying this right, Sharaf, is that right? The number 165 pound bare knuckle fighter in the world, Joe the Hitman Elmore. Joe, what's up, buddy?
Oh, what's going on? And it's Tom Shoaf, I believe.
Shoaf, all right.
Shoaf, yeah, Tom Shoaf.
Awesome, man.
Man, I'm doing excellent.
Great. It is good to hear you, man. I'm excited because we're seeing these things that's going on with you. You're coming in. You're actually ranked number 1 in the world at 165, and there's a belt. There's a vacancy, and I think it needs to be around your waist.
Oh yeah, man, that's definitely the goal. I told him when I came in. I've been trying to get a hold of David Silver probably since when Rusty Crowder first went and was on there. Man, I had already been talking to him like, man, bring me on. But at the time, they had a huge heavyweight division. So
right.
They've been building and bringing in 160 fighters, UFC guys, Bellator guys, and trying to stack up the division so they could have this, actually have some world contenders in there. And when I went in, 155 in MMA was always hard to make. 170 was a little bit too big. I kind of stuck between it. When they actually went with the 145, 65 divisions, I said, man, I'm going to go into this 165 and we'll get everything I got, man, and try to get this world title. And that's what I did. I knocked out my first fight was against Will Chope, and that was a 2-second knockout.
I saw that was quick.
BKF
I saw
11, and he had 119 fights at the time. Fought a main event against Max Holloway in the UFC. It was a heavy underdog on that fight. And I told him, I said, if I go in there and knock him out, man, y'all gonna give me a TV deal. And they came to me after the fight and said, man, we're gonna do better than that, dude. We kind of believe in you. We're just gonna set you up to fight, and if you keep doing what you're doing, we see great things. Man, they've kept their word to me, so I'm gonna keep training my butt off, trying to stay healthy and move towards it, man.
Dude, that's awesome, and I have no doubts that belt won't be yours very soon. I got go ahead.
Yeah, well, they actually got a fight possibly coming up, man. I don't know how much I could say, but around the Super Bowl, maybe even the day of, I'm looking at maybe fighting. So I don't have an opponent yet, but I talked to David Tillman at Toe the Line, so there's something that they're working or cooking up right now.
Well, I want to tell you this, and if that thing's going to be, man, honestly, if that's going to be in Florida or maybe even in, we're all about taking some road trips, Joe. We'd love to go there and watch you put that belt on.
Let's go.
I know that they're talking about a lot of venues in Miami right now because they're starting to open up again and allow capacity inside the venues. That's one of the David Silverman things. In a bare knuckle fight, we have to have people in there, man. We can't fight in a silent room because you get knocked down and you don't hear your son and your wife and your family and your friends and your team yelling for you. You might not get back up.
That's right.
It's a whole different ball game when them bone to bones are hitting in there, man.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What with the transition going from MMA fighting? Of course, the gloves is the one big thing, but what's it like getting hit with some bare knuckles, some taped up fists, as opposed to having those MMA gloves on?
Well, for me, I know people that know me know I'm crazy as hell. I mean, I grew up like watching little. I was a little guy. I was 4'11", 103 pounds my freshman year in high school, and I got in a fight with this dude. It wasn't really a fight. We used to put on Walmart boxing gloves. It didn't have real foam in it. You know, the ones that have like the plastic.
It says Everlast on the yellow on the wrist. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've been hit with a few of those.
Yeah, and there's this 250-pound senior, and I knocked him out. Rest in peace, right now, Clint Wallace. But we were at the movie theater, and we used to all box in that parking lot. They're like, "You gonna box?" We're like, "Hell yeah!" And then like Clint stepped up, and they were laughing, thinking I wasn't gonna box, but I knocked him out in the parking lot, and I was like, "All right, man, maybe I can do this."
That's too.
And on top of that, man, we used to fight, dude. We'd have I told the story on my BKFC 11 or 12 intro. But it was a true story, man. We'd have problems with like Lake County, Dyer County, Dyersburg, outside of Memphis, Tennessee, these little country towns, and it was school versus school. So whenever people would fight, we'd be like, all right, let's meet. We'd go to somebody's backyard or out on a farm and get a keg and charge $5 a cup and entry and make videos. And that was when it was the old big VHS tape that they had without those camcorders. And we would bare knuckle fight because I was watching when George Masvidal and Kimbo Slice and all that stuff, dude. That's basically what we were doing. Like we would eventually have smoker fights in the gyms that I had in our town. It wasn't sanctioned in Tennessee back in 2000, 1999 and the early 2000s. So we had to have basically smokers. Sometimes there wasn't no weight classes. Sometimes it's just like this gym's better than that gym. So I'm kind of back home. I got a black belt in Taekwondo. Went to state championships all 4 years in Tennessee. So I mean, I've got a lot of backgrounds that was made for MMA, but I don't know, man. I just like to fight. And in MMA, I always found myself having a game plan to go and grapple guys because I could win, but then I'd wind up wanting to bang and stand and a guy that wasn't as good as me would double leg me when I'd power shoot him, and then bare knuckle boxing, dude, they can't do that. I get to knock them out with every single punch, like my coach said. Every punch we're going to throw is 1 through 20, and when you're in bare knuckle boxing, you got 2-minute rounds. Every single punch is a 20.
Yeah, you're throwing with cruel intentions every time you let it go.
Yes, sir. I'm throwing with intentions of knowing I got a surgeon that can fix my hands if I break them. I'm throwing everything.
How hard is it for you to keep from just kicking somebody or like trying to get them, like take them down? Does those old are those old habits dying hard for you, or is that something that's just
no? This is like I said, I don't know, man. I believe this is kind of in my soul, dude. I like getting hit. I've never been dropped at a. I told people this before my fight, and they laugh at me, or they don't believe it. But if you can go back and I wait, and I'll still pay somebody that money to find one person that's ever dropped me with a punch in any fight by hitting me to the face and rocking me by a punch. It's not going to happen.
Well, I'm gonna
what now?
I'm gonna tell you the last fight you were in, man. You got cut up, but you still handled your business, and that's and. I mean, with you saying you've never been dropped, I believe it because that guy looked like he was hitting you with a hatchet, and you ended up still whipping his ass. So it was awesome.
I'm having fun, man. You know, like my mom's oldest sister, my whole family comes together. I get to be blessed in a year 2020 where nobody talks to each other, and everybody's got to stay away from each other, and just a lot of fear. And the thing that ends fear and anxiety for me is love, man, and that's why I have so much heart out there, because I got so much love, dude. They fly. I got people from Texas flying. My cousin drove in from Texas. My aunt flew in from Arizona. I mean, they just made a road trip from Indiana to Arizona. My wife comes. She's in my corner every single fight. And when I'm out there getting cut and that doctor comes up, I don't feel that cut. I don't feel nothing but the determination to be the 165 champion. And I look at my wife, and she looks at me, and she says, "She's got this." And I can hear my friends and my family screaming out there. Dude, I don't feel nothing. I just feel the ability to go out there and win for everybody.
Yeah,
it's undescribable. I jump out of airplanes too. I skydive.
No,
I got about 89 jumps.
I'm 11
short of my class. Yeah, and it's the same thing. When I get punched in the face, this adrenaline button jumps off, and time slows down. And like I feel like I'm in the gladiator arena hundreds of years ago, and I can just hear it, man. It does something. It's crazy. I have adrenaline dumps, and I get depressed about a week after the fight just from feeling like that, because you can't get it no other way.
How many times have you broken your hand?
Just once. Out of about 100 fights, I've only broke my hand one time. That was 2 years ago. Versus God, it's for the NFC title here. John Cobb. Yeah, sorry, my God. I took the public to my head, get me a little bit. John Cobb for
right.
NFC. I threw the overhand right, and he sidestepped and pivoted rather than leaning back away from it, and I hit him on the forehead, and I hit him so hard, it didn't break it sideways. It actually pushed the bone through the metacarpal and split it in half long ways.
Holy
so
God.
I had to get some pins put in my hand. But a surgeon at Emory, he's actually one of the head doctors for the commission. 6 months later, he became one of the head doctors of the commission here in Georgia. But he pulled me in the next day on the 3rd of July, made a special surgery for me, got my hand fixed. It's stronger than it was, dude. That was my right hand. It held up real good.
Yeah.
But I guess you're lucky. I don't know if I like to use the word lucky, but I'll just say it for lack of a better word. But you've been lucky to only break your hand once. How often do you see that in your sport? Is it common? Common, I guess I should say.
I guess maybe it will be if there were more amateur fights. But by this time, a lot of us, they're bringing in like veterans of 30 and 40 fights. It might say 0-0 and 0-1 and
but they've had a ton of fights.
That's the record of bare knuckle. Yeah, we've got 100, 200 fights in one ring, against guys that are 0-0 for bare knuckle. So we already know the. I mean, I look like I'm so powerful and wide, but yeah, I've conditioned my hands because I used to have a karate instructor that make us used to reach into sand and punch sand and I punch brick walls. I condition my hand just like they kick banana trees to condition their shins.
Yeah.
in Thailand, right, for Tiger Academy.
Yep.
Same thing. But it's also the accuracy, man. If you hit a guy on the chin, his chin bone's going to break before your hand. If he's hitting in the right position on the right knuckle. I mean, you do got to be careful, though, man, because one of my strategies was to headbutt Tom Schoaf's jab and knock him out with the overhand right, to go in and headbutt that jab and make it hard for him to jab me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? John L. Sullivan said it. You know, I went back and researched a lot of old guys. I watch every karate movie. I watch my opponents. I study everything. And we're kind of building new strategies with this bare knuckle fight. And then one of mine is if my harder bone hits his softer bone, then I'm winning anyway. So.
That's right. Do you think a punch on the chin, the button on the chin, is more effective than the one behind the ear? What's the better ratio, knockout ratio? Because you see a lot of guys that get hit behind the ear, and man, they drop. They don't know what hit them.
Well, okay, so the button behind the ear, that's a direct electric signal that shoots. There's a nerve back there, and it shoots an electric signal that shuts the brain down. So that one, a lot of times, can leave guys more confused and knocked out longer. Mm-hmm. That bone on the chin is easier to knock them down because it's more of a reflection into that nerve, and it sends more of a shutdown, but you can get back up easier as long as your jaw's all right. I mean, you hit it hard enough, and it's gonna rock them straight through, but I mean, I don't know, man. I guess you'd have to ask somebody that's been dropped. I've been dropped.
I don't know, Rob.
I don't mean to sound like that, but I'm playing the game almost fine. But like, I mean, I've been choked out, so I guess maybe it's, I don't know, man.
That's right.
Yeah, even when I get rocked, I've done the stanky leg a few times. But I hear this like I feel like I'm doing this dance in the samba, and my hips just kind of hold me up, and I hear this ring in my ear, and then all of a sudden, boom, the adrenaline button hits, and I don't ever feel it again. There's usually that one little dance, and then after that first dance, my adrenaline comes in and goes zombie mode.
That's right. Have you ever dropped somebody? Have you ever hit anybody with a liver shot and folded them up?
Oh yes, sir. I've God, what was the liver shot guy? I kicked the guy in the liver and dropped him with a toe kick to the liver.
Oh, my God.
Fight with KO to the body. Oh, God, it was a boxer here in Atlanta, Georgia for NFC for the main event. And I have such a hard time remembering
and those liver shots are like it's a delayed thing. When you throw the shot, it takes like a half a second, then you see these guys like they look like they're trying to shit a pineapple. They just collapse on the ground. So it looks terrible.
Yeah,
it looks terrible.
That I know about. Body shots are what I've been dropped by a body shot. Now, one time you'll go find. I fought a pro boxing fight against the world champion for Evander Holyfield. It was for his Real Deal Holyfield Productions at Queen's Theater in New York. And this kid hit me in the sternum. And, man, I felt like my sternum cracked through my spine. Jesus. It was just, God. Body shots, especially in this sport, I believe we're going to start seeing a lot more of them.
Yeah.
Because the next day I woke up, that was what hurt. I had cuts on my face, and I was bruised. But, man, there's not a lot of pain in your face. It's weird. You don't feel like when your ACL or you tear a muscle, that shit hurts, you know. Or the leg kicks can hurt for months.
Yeah.
But, man, dude, my rib the next day, I didn't even know I got hit during the fight. I was like, why in the hell is
and then you got a week later, you feel like you've been in a car wreck.
Yeah. And then, well, 4 or 5 days, you like every time you laugh, you're like, no, don't laugh.
You don't realize how much you use your abs until they're injured or sore, and then it's like
well, and those bare knuckles to ribs, dude. Those are weaker bones. Your hands can take a lot more. That was a good thing about throwing power shots. I kind of messed up because my body, I go into like caveman mode and go, knock him out.
That's what we love, though. We love it.
Yeah, I know, but I should have. If I'd have thrown a little bit more power to his body and got him to drop his hands sooner, I might have knocked him out and not had the pound on his hard head so much.
Right.
But you forget to go in there, because that's just it. I don't know, man. Like I said, I get overexcited and y'all start screaming, going, yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I react to that.
I'll say this: anybody that's not set up with the bare knuckle fighting the app. I mean, that's the best $5.99 I've ever spent in my life, and to be able to get it that cheap right now is unbelievable. So if you haven't got that app, get that app, man, because you can go back and go to the archives and you can watch a lot. You can watch all of Joe's fights, of course, and then there's so many other fights, man. And and you talk about those bare knuckles on the ribs, or I mean that sound, dude. It's not unlike anything you've ever heard. It sounds terrible. It sounds very painful. So. But that app
it makes you smile. You seen how you laugh when you said that. Though.
Yeah,
it makes you happy when you hear the sound.
We watched the last one. Me and Brittany was watching the last one, and I forgot what the guy had hit the other guy, and I said it sounded like somebody took a raw steak and threw it on a marble counter as hard as they could. That's what it sounded like. And I was like, holy shit, I would never want to be hit like that ever in my life. So. I gotta ask you though, dude, you fought everywhere. Where all have you fought? Like you fought in Russia, correct?
Well, okay, no, I flew to Frankfurt, Germany, but I fought in Kazakhstan for Almighty Pride.
I gotcha.
Against Osmanopova. Oh God, I hope I'm saying that right. But Osmanopova, he was like an 11-time Russian combat sambo world champion. I actually said on 2 days' notice, man. Ken Pavia, he's a matchmaker, I believe, out of California. He, I believe that's maybe how me and Nate Shook met. Nate Shook said something about somebody was looking for a fight in Kazakhstan, and I was like, when? And they're like, in 3 days. I'm like,
let's
what?
go.
And they're like, yeah, it takes a day and a half to get there. So I was like, well, I always have all my medicals ready, though, man.
Yeah.
I literally, for the past 12 years, 12 years ago, I lived at a gym. I was living at a gym, like mopping the mats, training all day.
Yeah.
But I still, even after I quit living at a gym, I still live there. I was teaching 6:30 a.m. kickboxing. I teach boxing. I teach jiu-jitsu. I train all day. So I'm always ready. I always have my medicals up to date. My wife's my manager. She makes sure that we are on point with everybody all the time.
Right.
So you can call me right now. And if I'm not injured, man, I'll take off had another fight in Canada. Same thing, man. They called me on a Thursday night.
I was just about to ask you about that.
We got a fight on Saturday. Saturday, can you come to Canada? I'm like, yes, I got everything ready. I had to go get a MRI the next morning. The doctor, Jason Weeks, he sponsors all the fighters here. I called him. I'm like, hey, man, if I can get an MRI first thing in the morning and be on a plane by 3 o'clock tomorrow, I can go fight for a world title against oh my God.
Was it Scott Hudson?
Scott Hudson.
Yeah.
Yep, he's fighting for XFC this weekend in the tournament. Scott Hudson, man, and that almost knocked him out first round, man. But he collapsed my lung in the second round of that fight. I didn't even know it. I thought I was having a damn asthma attack. And I flew home, found out 3 days later after I got home, it was a collapsed lung. I've had some wild fights, man. Again, it's just been anywhere I can go and see the world is an opportunity for me it's part of fighting for me. You know, just the things I get to experience that I might not ever get to. I get to go down there, take my wife to Niagara Falls on the Canadian side and walk underneath the waterfall.
Oh,
we
cool.
were like inside it. It was amazing. Just some of the things through fighting I've got to do.
After you fought Hudson and you got injured, you got the collapsed lung, you fought pretty quickly after that too, didn't you? You had another fight in like, how long ago was it? How much time was between there?
There was 5 weeks apart. I fought Scott Hudson 2017 on September the 10th or the 12th. Okay, it was either September the 10th or the 12th. But anyway, I fought him the 10th or the 12th. 3 days later, flew back home. Or 2 days later, flew back home. 3 days after I got home, found out I had the collapsed lung. Went and had immediate surgery. I wound up going to an urgent care clinic thinking I had some pneumonia or something.
Yeah.
They rushed me to the hospital for immediate surgery. I was in the hospital for 3 days. The doctor told me, the doctor that did my surgery, he trains jiu-jitsu here. He trains and does surgery on mostly a lot of athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me, he's like, hey, man, a collapsed lung, if you take care of it for 7 days, don't do anything, I'll let you do cardio with the tube still in your chest. I'll write for you to be able to go to the gym. And so 7 days, I just kind of sit around the house. I knew I was supposed to fight Brandon Mangano for the NFC for the main event because I'd signed both contracts. because I thought I'd have enough. Even if I got knocked out, I had enough time in between to be able to train and
Right.
get back in and take the fight. And anyway, so 7 days went by. I still had the tube in my chest, and what I did so people wouldn't know I had this tube in my chest is I'd wrap myself in aluminum foil and put a shirt on over it, or not aluminum foil, but a saran wrap, excuse me, and then I put a shirt over the top of it, and I'd go train, man, and do jiu-jitsu. I didn't let nobody hit me in the body. I told my training partners, hey, man, I got too much. Y'all be careful, but I got this fight. I got to train. So 7 days I had the tube in my chest. I went to the doctor. He took it out. The same doctor, he's like, hey, man, how you feeling? He's like, don't train today. Come back and see me tomorrow. We'll do some tests, and if you feel good, I'll sign off for you to fight. And it was 10 days from my fight.
Jesus.
And I was like, all right. So I waited that day, went back the next day. He checked me out. He signed off. I had not eight days to train. And I took that fight with Brandon Logano 8 days later. And I had trained half my camp with a tube in my chest.
Jesus.
But, man, I don't back out of fights, dude. I like to fight. It was I knew that I would still be in good condition. I ran 4 miles with a tube in my chest. So
Good God.
It wasn't like I wasn't training doing something crazy. I just I didn't want to break Brandon's heart. He's a good friend of mine too, man. And we fight. And when guys back out, man, it's hard.
It's disheartening, yeah, because you've trained all that time to be prepared and get ready, and then it's just nothing. And then you did it.
Yeah, man, it's heartbreaking.
Well, look, I wanted to ask you what school did you what school did you train at? Like what all? I mean, you know, you did jiu-jitsu. Where were you doing that at? Was
Buddy Colbert? I did so my jiu-jitsu has really started here. So I did a lot of like sambo and combat hapkido in Team Raised in Birmingham, Alabama. I started out my MMA career down in Ultimate Boxing. We did a lot of jiu-jitsu, but it was freestyle stuff, man. Down then, we didn't have a lot of jiu-jitsu instructors here when I started 15 years ago.
Gotcha.
So we were learning that way. But when I first came here as a white belt, I was with Uterod Rodriguez.
Yep, Professor. Yes.
Professor Capacina, Professor Crow, and Professor Fabio Costa.
Yeah.
So Fabio Costa took me immediately under his wing. Now, I've been working at Extra Sports about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the blessing of working with Hani Eddie Paiva. He actually gave me my purple belt. He left X3 Sports, and then Rodrigo Archulero came in. He's, I believe, an Olympic bronze medalist, judo world champion. God, I'm back with Gracie Baja and Fabio under Professor Fabio Costa now, though.
You just train with animals your whole life. I mean, these guys who are name and offer, I've
never had politics either. I go everywhere, dude.
That's the best thing about it.
Everybody.
Hey, did we lose you?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best thing about it too. If you can go training all these other different people and everybody gets along, and I just a little bit of backstory on me. I did jiu-jitsu for a little while. I have terrible hips. I had 2 hip replacement surgeries. I used to walk with a cane, but I actually did. I had a jiu-jitsu tournament that I'd put on back in Rome. I don't know how long ago that was. Maybe 10 years ago. Maybe
it was at least 10.
Yeah, 10 years. It was the Gladiator Open, and I had a lot of guys from Alpha. Like we had Brian Bloodworth, and I had Tex, and I was going to ask you if you competed in that, because we always seem to go the same weekend Ludador did, and I only did a couple, but Fabio and Uterod, they had helped me on the second one. They did a lot of, but what I'm kind of getting at is your jiu-jitsu family is forever. Like, you have these guys in your life forever, and if you may not see them for a very long time, but when you do see them, you always feel like family, and that's when you don't, if you don't have the politics involved. So all those people you named off, I know those guys, and those are great guys. I know you're really good friends with Matt Sword, and I know he just opened up a school up in Fort Payne, ground and pound elite training, and I know he's looking to come back, start fighting again. So all you guys, man.
Yeah, he was one of my main training partners for a long time. Matt Sword and when Capacina, this is funny story, man. Capacina, when I came in and I told you I first started training jiu-jitsu, the very first day that I put on a jiu-jitsu gi, Capacina was the one that said, "No, Joe, you're not going to do all these leg locks. You don't even know how to pass guard." I knew wrestling and I could do a flying heel hook and a flying knee bar, but I did not know how to guard pass at all. Okay. And he's like, "You're gonna put on the gi today." And I believe I tapped him out with something. I can't remember what I tapped him out with. And then I tapped out Professor Crow with a Darce choke tonight.
Nice.
They had just showed it to me. And they're like, no. You started as a blue belt.
Right.
So my very first day, they gave me my blue belt. So I was one day as an official white belt under Gracie Baja with them. And then I spent 7 years as a blue belt, about 7 years now as a purple belt.
That's awesome, dude. No, but you stayed with it, and you still have these great people in your corner. I mean, it's, and that's the thing. Like, I know just talking to you by the things you said, talking about with your family and your wife and the people you've got around you, your support group is tight. You got a good support group, and that's what, with your work ethic and the way you work hard and in your heart and your support group. I mean, you're a hard dude to beat. You're tougher than a $2 steak, man.
Well, yeah, but it is the family aspect, like you said, man. My jiu-jitsu family, Eric Moody, Professor Eric Moody now, for Gracie Baja, he filmed his first 10 fights, put them on YouTube, man. Without him, I wouldn't have those up. It was Gracie Baja, my friendship. Like, I could say, hey, man, I've got a super fight or a fight to win pro, and Professor Fabio sells tickets at the booth for me. Even though I work at X3, he still would support me and come up there.
Right.
And all my jiu-jitsu guys have been like that. And those guys were in my wedding, they were in my bachelor party. So knowing that they come to all my fights. Like, I'm a selfish person. My grandma taught me that. It's like, if you do everything for yourself, and then all of a sudden one day you ain't got nobody, but you got everything, and you can't share it with nobody, it sucks. But if you give everything away you got to everybody, and one day you ain't got nothing, but you got everybody with everything, isn't that a lot more? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Having those people there, I don't want to let them down. I'm a good loser. Anybody that knows me or my wife can say, she'll tell people, I don't understand how Joe can get his ass kicked at a fight like with Jordan Ronaldo. He had me knotted up and beat the crap out of me, and I'm hugging him. I made him put his elbow on my face and just take a picture after the fight to show him who did it, like.
It's hilarious.
And so for me, I loved it, man, but the reason I do win is because everybody else. I'm out there watching my wife worried and all that stuff, and yeah, man, it's hard to lose. So when your heart hurts for everybody else, it's like, not today, because I got 100 people that are going to cry. I ain't worried about me right now. We'll worry about this fucking cut later.
That's right. Well, look, I was going to ask you too. What does a day in the life look like training? So as far as you getting ready for this next fight, that is maybe on the cusp of happening sometime in January. When do you start? I mean, I know you train every day, but when does it get down to, hey, I got to go whip this guy's ass in January, and this is what we got to do right now to prepare for that?
As soon as I get the name, I start game planning and get it down. Because I have since the pandemic, it shut a couple gyms down and made it hard to train for a little while. But it actually was a blessing because, again, Professor Fabio, he gave me a nine square mat, 3.5 squares each.
Mm-hmm.
And I carry those 3 mats with me when I go camping in the woods. Me and 4 or 5 of my friends go camping with hammocks up on top of the mountain. I put those in the back of my truck. I stack them in the back end of my truck. We take them, we put them out on a tarp, and we grapple while we're on top of the mountain.
That's awesome.
I got them under my garage. I put them in my downstairs basement. I got guys that come over and train in the morning. I got guys that train in the afternoon. I mean, I'll have at least 1 or 2, 3 people over here once or twice a day to train at my house. I have a little park we carry the mats to, or we go to a couple of the gyms that let me train. But when it is time for that fight, man, I eat right. I meal prep. I'm going to therapy every day. I got sponsors like Nivea Health that bring me in, and they sponsored me IV drips and all free therapies. And I mean, PRPs on my face, which is where they've taken my blood and put platelet-rich plasma and pulled it out of my own blood, and then microneedle it into the scars on my face so the scars won't cut open. They'll regrow collagen in the skin. So, I mean, I really focus on being the healthiest, most elite robotic person in the world for that last, 30, 45 days.
Yeah.
As soon as they write that name down, I'm studying and coming just what is he long, fast, what his angles look like. I create a dance and a plan in my head. This is so important, man. This is I feel like this
I mean,
is the new UFC. My thing.
It's way more than just, it's way more than getting in there and just throwing hands with somebody. I mean, it's way more than that. It's and that's the kind of thing that I kind of wanted to bring out in this with the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship too. I kind of explained it to a couple of people. We were talking about it, and it's like, well, is it like a bad man? I'm saying, man, it is not anything like a bad man. These guys are fighters. They're true fighters, and it's not just there's technique and everything that's going on. It's like boxing without gloves. I mean, it's man's boxing is what it is. And it's, what is that? The meme with the little guy with the handlebar mustache. He's like gloves. You mean bitch mittens? So you guys are definitely not wearing the bitch mittens.
So that is actually John L. Sullivan himself. So John L. Sullivan is one of the very first world title holders, the original bare knuckle badass. So the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame that just ranked me number 1 on Knucklepedia, and which is separately from the Bare Knuckle Boxing official rankings. They are the ones that hold the original title that John L. Sullivan from that picture held. They're the one that sanctioned basically every world title that's ever existed.
Oh, wow.
UFC, WWE, the very first one was that title that belonged to John L. Sullivan. So that was another little cool fun fact for everyone as well.
Yeah, awesome, man.
That's what it's going to be an honor for me to win this 165 title, because not only is it going to be the very first 165 champion ever in the United States of America, but it's also going to be the very first 165 title under the original world title.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And of course we're rooting for you. We want it. We I got all the faith in the world.
Bringing it back to Georgia.
I know
boys.
you're gonna bring it home. That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that curse.
That's right. God dang, we need something. Oh my God.
Hey, listen, and here's the thing too. Like, I'm not sure if this the one that for the Super Bowl, if it even happens, because it's a big DreamWorks picture. It's a big thing that he's trying to put together. Hopefully, I make that one. But if not, my goal is we've talked to Matt Woodruff. A few people are trying to work with him. I talked to Nate Shook the other day and told him I was going to put it on the agenda, but we're going to try to put the rules on in front of the commission and get them written into play and get them. It might have to wait because the election's so going on crazy right now.
Yeah.
But if we if everything with the election goes good, Governor Kemp can sign these rules in.
Man,
my ultimate goal is to come here.
How great would that be to fight for the belt
somewhere and win my title in front of my home?
That would be incredible. That would be awesome. Look, I know
it takes about 6 months to get these rules, but it is in the works. I'm calling it 6 months.
Dude, that would be incredible if you can. I mean, I feel like that they'll sign it in, and man, if you'd be able to fight in front of your home crowd. I mean, you imagine how many people would be there with the Hitman T-shirt on.
Yes, sir. I've already imagined in my head. It feels so good. I can't lose. I couldn't lose.
I know.
I couldn't lose. There's no way to lose in a fantasy dream. There's no way.
Right. I feel sorry for whoever you have to fight. That's just all I'm going to say. They're not coming in there with a ball peen hammer taped up on their knuckles. They're not going to make it. So.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhand and a ball peen in the other. Nothing. It's just nothing. Just cut nothing.
Look, I want to. We talked about your big heart, and the one thing I wanted to bring up too. I want to know about Jesse Ican Sparkman and the Ican movement. How you got involved with that? Can you tell us a little bit about Jesse and his situation and what you guys were trying to do for them, and a little bit about how Street Beef stepped in and kind of made this thing happen for him.
Okay, so I've been a fan of Street Beefs for a long time, man, because I feel like anybody that's trying to take a negative and turn it to positive is awesome. So Jesse, he trains with my boxing coach, one of my boxing coaches, Coach Crazy Chris, we call him, from Detroit. Nick Brazier, he's a good friend of mine down here from Detroit. He introduced me to all his friends. We've become like brothers down here. He's the one that I called in the middle of the night. Literally, I called Nick on Tuesday night, and I'm like, at 12 o'clock at night. And I said, hey, man, you want to go to Kazakhstan with me and corner me for a fight? And he goes, when? I'm like, dude, we got to leave at 6 a.m. He's like, when? And I'm like, tomorrow morning. And I was like, you need to pack your shit and come over here right now. And he came. He comes every time, man. He comes. He's in Canada with me. Same thing. Thursday night, called him up when we leave. Tomorrow, noon, let's go. Boom. He drove over here, stayed the night, brought a suitcase. He introduced me to Coach Crazy Chris. Coach Crazy Chris He does a lot of things for everybody. He cares about coaching more than anything. If you got money, he'll take it. If you don't, he'll fly down here and spend a week out of his hometown to help me get ready. He actually did that for two of my fights. He was down here for a week. He came from Detroit. They brought him down. They work with Jesse while he's actually up there, and they used to kick Jesse out of a couple gyms. Man, if you watch Jesse train, it'll scare the shit out of a normal person because his legs don't work right. You know, with cerebral palsy, it's hard. But he has those canes, man, and he'll sprint. He'll army crawl. He'll do pull ups and drop down, and like you can't tell him he can't do something, or he's gonna do it even more and harder. So through that, I went and I fought. Just the universe brought me to fight in Detroit, Michigan for the WXC on UFC Fight Pass, and I fought up there for them. And when I went up there, I got to meet Jesse in person at my coach Crazy Chris. I was at his house in the backyard, and we were cutting some weight. And Jesse, of course, wanted to come over with his dad and meet me. His dad, Gary, is best friends with my coach since they were in high school. They've been friends forever. So they come over there. I met Jesse, and he just inspired me, man. There's times when I've been like, I can't cut weight, I'm dying, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't say this anymore. And he's telling me, don't ever say you can't. So I fell in love with Jesse at that moment, unbelievable. So anyway, that same time, he's like, man, can I make you a rap song? And there's a studio where Aretha Franklin recorded in Detroit, Michigan. God, what's the rapper's name right now? Not Royce the 5'9", but it's another real famous rapper from Detroit, Michigan. And he knows Jesse. I guess he's cool with him because he's done a TED Talk and was there and just knows of Jesse's stories. He's like, you know what? If y'all come in, I'll produce T Grizzly. There you go. T Grizzly allowed them to come into the studio, and they made him a beat and a song, and he made me a track called I Can and had two other Detroit rappers get on it. And I pushed Jesse out while he rapped the I Can song in his wheelchair for my walkout. And at the end of the aisle, he got up out of the wheelchair and walked down the stairs just to show people, like, I can.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I want to share his dream with him, man, and he wants to travel around and be able to go tell people, do more TED Talks, and go to gyms and train and just live his dream, showing people that no matter what your situation is, that he can change. So anything I could do to help Jesse out, I am. Right now, he's doing adaptive boxing. It's hard to find a match for someone in a wheelchair because everybody tries to tell people they can't. And they don't understand that people want to live life no matter what the situation. We all deserve the same thing. And talked to Chris Wilmore from Street Beefs, and he's like, hey, man, Hell on Wheels, Brandon, he's an amazing dude. He's the same thing. He's an adaptive boxer. He's like, man, I'll take the fight with him. He has a sports wheelchair that he uses, which is a mid-back. It's got the wide wheels. You can play basketball. You can bob and weave. It's just a lot more for a person in a wheelchair that's athletic. But they're like anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500,
right,
depending on what kind and how good you get. So it was my idea to raise money through him going and doing this adaptive boxing. And Chris Wilmore, they're viral, man. They get millions of views. He was willing to share this charity and try to spread it so people can help get Jesse to train with Floyd Mayweather is one of his goals in Vegas, and of course get him his adaptive, a modified sports wheelchair so he could do his adaptive boxing and train a little bit easier.
Yeah. And so,
shout out to him because people don't know this, but on the 23rd of this month, we've already got, I believe we went up to about $1,700 or $1,800 in donations today from 14. So thank everybody for that, dude, especially anybody that's listening. But Chris Wilmore's actually said he would be willing to buy the wheelchair for anywhere from $1,000 to $1,800 out of, I guess maybe when they get their YouTube money from whatever or something awesome. Going on. But on the 23rd, he said he would actually get the wheelchair so we could use the rest of the money to put towards Jesse's trip to see Floyd Mayweather.
That's too cool.
Shout out to them. They're amazing beyond everything else they do.
And it's Street Beefs. And I know you guys have seen them on YouTube, and you see some people, they're getting down out there. So, and I did watch Jesse's fight, and dude, it's inspiring. It's amazing. And it's if everybody had that much drive and will and determination, and they're way more capable of doing things than Jesse struggles with. They don't have those struggles, and for him to really, you can't say you can't do something when you watch somebody like him do what he does.
Never, man. And y'all can go on icansparkman.com and just see his TED Talks and stuff. And I'm telling you, it'll make you never make excuses. And anytime you slip up and say, I can't, you're going to go, oh, man, I can't believe I just said that. Just think of that moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, look, man.
We all need that right now.
We do. The whole world needs a whole lot of that right now. We sure do. We sure do.
Love and I can.
Well, look, man, I appreciate so much you coming on and talking to us tonight, and I look forward to talking to you again when you got that belt around your waist. And we're all big Hitman fans, and we got your back, and we're in this thing 100%. I want to see you through it, and watch you come out on top and do your thing and be the 165-pound bare knuckle champion of the world. So,
thank you for your time, sir.
Hey, no, thank y'all, man. I appreciate it.
But
man,
look,
y'all.
I have to do one more thing before you get out of here. This is what we do. This is what we do. We do 10 random questions, okay? So, Joe, the Hitman Elmore, are you ready for 10 random questions? All right, man. 10 random questions. You answer with a yes or a no. You can go into a little bit of description. You have one mulligan. You can say no comment. So, I got a feeling you're not going to use the no comment. All right. Who was one dead celebrity you'd like to punch in the face?
One dead celebrity that I'd like to punch in the face. Oh, man.
Hell, they could be living. You pick one.
My favorite, Nancy Pelosi.
Okay,
nice.
All right.
Nice. I like it.
What's one thing?
It would help a lot.
Could you use the ball peen hammer in your wraps? I'm just kidding. Not really. I'm
Could
serious.
I what?
Can you use that ball peen hammer in your wrist wraps?
I get a ball?
Yeah, tape up that ball peen hammer. Tape up that ball peen hammer real tight in your wrist wraps if you do that.
Can I? I would like to.
No, I was just saying you could crack her with a ball peen hammer.
Oh, yeah. I already have one in there.
Yes.
It'd only take one. I promise. It'd be the hardest punch I ever seen. I'd make it count.
All right. What is one thing that gets on your nerves?
One thing that gets on my nerves. Should have said one thing that don't. No, one thing that gets on my nerves. Jackass people. Like,
Nancy
self-entitled,
Pelosi.
rude. Yeah,
like
yeah.
People,
yes, exactly. People that make you, that say you did something that they're doing to make you look like a bad guy. I just don't like that.
Yeah.
They get on my nerves. We can do without bad people.
Who's the toughest person you ever fought?
The toughest person, the toughest. The most talented or the toughest?
The toughest. Just like, Jesus Christ, this person's still coming.
Man. Tom Schoaf got dropped. So he's pretty tough for coming back from that. But I'd say Ronnie Rogers.
Okay.
Ronnie, I football punt kicked Ronnie Rogers in his face. We actually fought as a 2-on-2 couple for the very first United States of America 2 versus 2 versus JSP, Jonathan Pierce, and Adam Townsend. We teamed up. But during the fight when we fought each other, that's why I teamed up with him, by the way. Man, dude, there's a moment that's on my YouTube. I believe it was the second round. If you go watch on YouTube, and he went down on the ground. I kneed him, and we got tangled up. And as he was trying to stand up, I literally just tried to kick his face 40 yards, and he stood straight up and looked at me like I didn't do anything. But we went dancing that night. The next day, I woke up and I had a softball on my foot, and it was his forehead print where he had broke my. I don't know if it was broke or fractured. I never went to the doctor, so I don't know. But it sure as hell wasn't supposed to be that big for about a week. He's the toughest dude I ever hit. Cause I hurt myself hurting him. So, I still got a dent in my leg from shin kicking him. Yeah,
if you can kick this guy in the head like a soccer ball, punching him's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, Ronnie Rogers.
All right, if we made a life of your movie, Joe Elmore, who would play Joe Elmore?
It'd have to be me, like when Rocky played himself.
I got you.
I don't know.
That's fair.
Hold on, let me think. Who would My wife says I look like Jordy Nelson, but I got to get a younger guy to play me.
Okay.
Play me. Let me. Oh man, he'd have to be crazy and kind. God, I don't know, and good looking. No.
Of course.
You know, in Hollywood, they're always supposed to be better looking than the real one.
Right.
I'm gonna stick with me because can't nobody play me.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. What's something you enjoy doing that other people may think is odd?
Oh man, lots of shit, dude. Jumping out of airplanes. Yeah, jumping out of airplanes and fighting bare knuckle and loving getting hit in the face.
Yeah, I'm not doing either one of those. So.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Those are all the three funnest things in my life.
Where's the coolest place you ever fought?
Oh, dude. It was so beautiful in Canada, dude. It was going to Niagara Falls. That's definitely the most beautiful. But Kazakhstan was one of the most unique places I ever fought. It's just because nobody gets to go there. You can't just go to Kazakhstan. They had me riding around with like these princes, and the culture was so different. They threw us a party and tried to get us wasted the night before. I knew what they were doing. And they threw us had Russian vodka and horse meat. I ate horse for the first time. No. I didn't even know I was eating.
What was that? What was that like?
Yeah. Oh man, it was weird because I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "It's horse." I'm like, "Oh God, I'm raised on a horse farm."
No. Really?
They got it. Yeah. So they eat over in Kazakhstan. It is very, 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 very common. Horse to them is like cow to us.
No.
It's much. I mean, they eat horse a lot over there. Like they breed them to eat.
Oh,
it's it's different.
Is it really lean? I guess.
Yeah, it looks like pastrami or like some kind of lunch meat sliced up on a plate.
No, yeah.
The beef jerky was all right. Again, I didn't know I was eating that, but I was like, God, that was horse jerky too. Even at the
I'm like, I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah,
you didn't tell y'all.
Yeah, oh God, that was the strangest thing I've ever done. I was raised on a horse farm, so I almost felt like
dude, that's terrible. All right.
That was actually horrible.
Who inspires you to be a better person?
Who inspires me to be a better person? My wife and my grandma.
Good answer.
My wife literally is my best friend. Like no matter when it's up, no matter when it's down, when things are ugly and when things are pretty, most people give up and never do things. There's been times when Jordan Rinaldi beat my ass. For a week, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. She's the one that looks me in the eye and tells me I'm the most strong, powerful, greatest man in the world. She's smart, beautiful, got Teacher of the Year here in Georgia.
Awesome.
And so for me, like somebody like that has such love in her heart that believes in me that much, there must be something,
Yeah.
I try to stay humble and yeah. She's my spirit animal. And my grandma raised me like that too. She reminds me of my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
They're best friends. So,
good.
Yeah.
That's a good answer, man. You can't get it better than that. All right, Joe, what is your jam? What's your go-to song, man?
God, I'm awkward, dude. I like when I'm coming out to fight, I actually rap my own rap song.
Okay.
Me and a dude named Jay Gutta from Beat Camp Entertainment. He used to record Rich the Kid. But I don't know, man. I love listening to Garth Brooks. Sometimes if I'm just in the mood drinking on the weekends. I don't know. I have a strange. Let's see. God, if I had to pick one. I'd say Eminem, man, because I like poetic rap, so I could listen to Eminem over and over and over. So I could listen to anything he puts out.
Yeah, rap music's struggling these days. It's
hard
to listen
old
to
rap.
now.
I listen to the old stuff.
Yeah,
like the new stuff for me, like Lucas Joyner, a few poetic rappers. But what got me into rap was actually in 6th grade. I did a bonus test, basically, to bring my grade up 10 extra points by memorizing Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And I memorized that entire poem. I still remember like 99% of it. I saw the kind of the beat. I like playing drums, and so for me that it kind of keeps my ADHD in check. It puts it it gives a rhythm to the madness.
Yeah. And you rapped it, or you just recited it?
Oh yeah, no, I rapped it.
Oh, dude, that's great. Myself. You should record that.
So whenever I came out, I do have it recorded. I actually have it on. I'm trying to put it on Spotify right now. But when I came out to the Tom show, when you see me rapping as I'm coming into the stage, that's actually me rapping my rap.
Okay. Nice. Okay. All right.
I have it on. If y'all send me y'all's email after the show, I'll actually send it to you on email.
Okay, yes. I will. Yeah. Do you care if we put it on? If we put it on a link to it?
Not at all.
All right. Awesome. We definitely want that. Okay, I know you're going to answer this question. This is when everybody says no comment. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done on a dare?
Oh, jeez. See, y'all really, if y'all knew me, you'd laugh. Y'all need to talk to 3 of my best friends here for this one. Dumbest thing that I'm willing to tell you I've ever done for a dare. I don't know, man. I've done some dumb stuff. Let's see.
Nobody.
I don't know, man. I in college, I used to do a lot for money. I like to. I had a. Okay, here's one of the dumbest things I ever did.
All right.
I got one. Right. I'm really good at drinking beer.
Okay.
Before I had
nothing wrong with that.
And in college, I can take a 16-ounce glass of beer, let it sit for 5 minutes when it gets not quite freezing cold, and I can take it and down it in one drink. Just go, and it'd be gone, like less than a half a second, right? So I would always bet people $1 that I could drink a beer faster than them. And on top of the $1, whoever didn't drink the beer as fast had to buy the other person's beer. So if I drank my beer faster than them, they had to buy his beer and my beer.
Nice.
Well, one of my buddies was like, all right, well, I bet you can't drink 10 Jaeger bombs in a row.
Oh, my God.
And down a beer when you're done. If you do, I'll give you $100. And at that time, I was like $100 in college. All right.
Yeah.
So they poured 10. They poured 10. It wasn't Jaeger bombs. It wound up being what we call goose blind, which is Grey Goose in the middle instead of Jaeger bomb, and then on the outside rim, it's Red Bull, peach schnapps, and cranberry, or splash peach schnapps and cranberry. So I drank 10 of them in a row, down the beer, and was completely shit faced. But I was a bouncer at a bar called Cadillac. And I had to go bounce that night. And my girlfriend at the time was the bartender there, and I showed up so shit faced, of course, with 10 shots of liquor, that I was like, okay, I'm ready to work. And I got fired. I had a job making $100 a night as a bouncer, collecting money at pool tables, standing there checking IDs, pretty easy.
Yeah.
And for $100 of beer money and a bet, I got fired from $100 a night job.
Damn it!
So I definitely say that was one of the dumbest things I've ever been dared to do.
That was no, man.
I was 20 years old. I'm 38 in 20 years, so don't judge me.
No, not at all. Not at all. We've been there. We've all been there.
All this stupid shit.
All right, and last but not least, who is the true 165-pound champion in bare knuckle fighting?
Me.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's why we're talking to you, baby. That's why we're talking to you.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm seriously the gatekeeper. They're gonna have to come see me because I don't understand how they keep telling me I was the underdog. I guess they thought this was pillow fighting or something.
Well,
that's my spot.
Man, I'm excited for you, man. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to see all the good things coming for you. I really am, and I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. And again, I want you. We want you to be one of our repeat offenders. We want you to come back, and when you can, when we get this belt won, and and I hope it's going to be somewhere where we can make it. We're going to come down and watch you fight wherever it is. We want to try to be there, and be in your corner.
Absolutely.
Awesome, absolutely, man. And I agree with y'all said. It's going to go out to praise, man. I'm excited about this young team they got, man. It's going to be awesome, man. I think they're going to do some great things for them. 24 average years old for them to come out and do what they did. That was awesome.
No kidding.
We
man.
should be good for a long time.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to look at a good long run.
the mid '90s, early '90s Braves, and
That's
how
right.
they were with young, strong pitching staff. They've rebuilt that same model.
Yep.
They've got the fans back, bringing them to Marietta, and
Which
they
is
had
a
a
great
stadium
park.
full with nobody there. So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, exactly. All right, Joe, man, I
Yeah.
appreciate
Well,
it,
y'all
man.
have a blessed night. Thanks again.
You too,
Hey,
man.
thanks
Thank
for
you
the
so
time,
much.
brother.
All right, have a good
Yeah,
one.
no problem. Anytime, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Joe the Hitman Elmore, who hopefully will be fighting for that 165-pound bare knuckle fighting championship belt in maybe January. So
If you're not familiar with this guy, look him up. He is a beast.
please go
Just a
watch his
beast.
fights.
Just
And
go
to
watch
his
his
YouTube,
fights.
or again, like I said earlier, go to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, get the app, pay that $5.99,
Just look at his-
$5.99, dude. You can watch all these great fights.
And just look at his pictures on Facebook. You'll see what we're talking about, and you'll go from there.
Yeah, and they actually just signed Paige. They're building up their female roster, and they just signed Paige Van Zant from the UFC, so she's
Saw
going to
that.
be there. So Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, probably the fastest growing sport in the world right now. As
It's insane.
It's you see a lot of great fights, and again, I'm not kidding. It literally sounded like somebody slammed a piece of raw steak on a marble slab as hard as they could throw it down. It's some of the sickeningest shots.
But it's still skill fighting. It's not bad man contest out at Dillard's Park.
Yeah,
it's
people
real
got,
deal.
They got to, somebody gets hurt, they step in there. Everything's done right. So it's really a really cool thing to watch. So before we get out of here, Andrew, I just wanted to say something real quick. I got a company called killercultureshop.com. Killercultureshop.com. These guys they do a lot of kind of t-shirt, serial killer type t-shirts, or kind of off the cuff kind of t-shirts. They're the anti #blessed and hashtag live laugh love that you see in people's houses, which is I'm the anti myself, so it's okay. I really dig what they got going on over there. They had actually had a shirt created that said shoot your local pedophile. It's a t-shirt that says shoot your local pedophile.
I can get on board with that.
And apparently they took some heat. There's a group of people that started a website that's speaking out against this company, the Killer Culture. Let me make sure I'm saying it correctly. Killercultureshop.com. They're trying to get this shirt removed, or get this company to keep them from selling this shirt. So what did I do? I went and bought me one of those fucking shirts. And I cannot wait to wear that bitch until it falls apart. So if you see me with my shoot your local pedophile t-shirt on, if you judge me, don't let me know about it, because I'm going to think really bad shit about you. So go to their website, man. Killercultureshop.com. Take a look at their merchandise. It may not be for you, but killing pedophiles, that's for me. So there's no good use for them. So if you get offended by that shirt, then it probably should.
You got your own issues.
The FBI should probably look at your laptop.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. So, but Andrew, that's going to do it for us tonight, man. Thank you again. You got anything to add? You got anything going on that we need to?
No, man. Look forward to Charlie. Look forward to some upcoming episodes. But this was a great one, man. It's just been a long time coming.
Yeah, man, we've been waiting.
We've been working for this
long, so
forever.
he's so busy. He's so busy, and I was just very thankful that we got to talk to him.
Get him back when he's champion.
Last but not least, go to www.cigarstoreidiot.com and buy some merchandise.
We got some cool swag, guys.
T-shirts, hoodies, baseball tees.
Sold a lot of it already.
The hats will be coming in. We actually got a proof on the patch. The custom patch is done. So we should be getting those in. Man, I don't want to say. I've kind of had my feelings hurt a couple of times already about it, but they are going to be. It will be here before Christmas. So Christmas presents, you know what I'm saying? Just come buy some. So, all right, man, that's going to do it for me. Andrew, man, I appreciate you, buddy.
Out.
All right, later.